Alright guys, let's get started. You're watching Crypto Corner, your crypto radar for all the latest news, reviews, market analysis and tutorials that help you master the crypto markets. And the crypto markets are in turmoil. Everyone is scared. Everyone is feeling the pain. Everyone is really worried that Bitcoin is crashing down, that we're going to 10,000. This is why I want to focus today on this particular question. I got it a lot in the last few days on my social media, and I saw a lot of people throwing random kind of figures on social media. Bitcoin to 10,000, to 9,000, to 7,000, to 3,000. Are we going to 10,000 and below? This is what I'm going to answer in this video. Stay tuned. Let's get started. Okay, so first, let's start with a quick market roundup. What is currently happening? Well, Bitcoin is in the mid 16,000 region. Ethereum fell below the 1200, is now 1,191 as we speak. We don't really see Ethereum falling down below the 1200 very often and very easily. BNB is 266, also fell below the 270 support. XRP is below 40 cents. Doge is now at 8 cents. Cardano is at 32 cents. Matic is below 90 cents, 87 as we speak. Polkadot, it's below $6, it's at 563. OKB is below $20 and Solana is now below 15 even. It's $14.13 as we speak. This is the lowest I've seen Solana in a long time, very long time. Anyways, let's actually talk Bitcoin, because this is really what everyone is asking. And what are the chances that Bitcoin is going to go to 10,000 or below 10,000? I personally feel that it's a very small chance. I mean, it is still a possibility. This is why you can see here in the support levels that I've drawn, I have 12,000, I have 10,000, I have 9,000. These support levels I have drawn based on previous price action. So, we were consolidating for periods of time, establishing support levels. So this is how we get these support levels here. We do have a support level at mid 10,000 region, and then below that we have a support level at the 9,000 region. But even before that, well, first of all, as you know, I do consider 14 and 13,000 to be quite a decent support. But even if we don't consider that, here, based on Fibonacci levels that I've drawn, we do have the golden Fibonacci ratio, the 1.618 Fibonacci ratio, sitting at 12,893, indicating that this is right now our strongest support on the way down. Even though we do have the 15,000, the 14,000 and the 13,000 support levels way before that. But if none of these levels are holding us, we do have the golden Fibonacci, the golden pocket right now sitting at 12,893. This is actually giving me the confidence that even if we are to fall any lower, and first of all, we're going to be stopped at the 14K, perhaps we're going to consolidate in the mid 14K region, perhaps for a moment we can give away the 14K and fall into the 13,000s. A drop in the 13,000s, I would guess, that will take us to the 12,800 very briefly as a week, and then very quickly go back up in the 13,000 region, starting to consolidate there and starting a recovery from there. This is the worst case scenario for me. I don't really think that we will be falling below the 12K region. 12,800, as I said, a very strong support right now. This is really my lowest target. I still am open to the possibility of dropping below that. But realistically speaking, this is my lowest target, 12,800. Now, we do have a support at the 12,300, which is, it used to be a resistance previously. Once we broke above this resistance, this is now flipped into a support. So, if we are to fall that in that region, I could also accept a 12,300 mark. I can accept that. Going to the 10,000 will be very difficult. It would mean that once we are at 12K or 13K, all hope is lost. No, everyone is still scared and nobody is willing to buy Bitcoin. Well, I don't think this is the case, because 12,000 Bitcoin price for Bitcoin is a very appealing buying price. It's a very appealing accumulation price. For me, even 13,000 Bitcoin is already really appealing for accumulation. And I know many traders who have been in this market for a long time who would agree with me, who also are waiting for the 12K region, that are considering this to be ideal accumulation zone. But being an ideal accumulation zone also means that there are too many traders right now focusing on this price and hoping and waiting for this price. And as we know, the market doesn't really do what you want it to do. It doesn't do what everyone expects to do. So if everyone right now is talking about 12,000 Bitcoin and waiting for 12,000 Bitcoin, the likelihood of that happening is very small. It means that most likely we are not going to get there. Most likely we are going to get stopped before we get to that region. And this is why I'm talking about 14 and 13,000 Bitcoin as the more realistic possible bottom for this market, even though I would also argue that we are already at the bottom of this market. We are already bottoming out, and I'm going to show you a few charts that are confirming this. But of course, if you are really trying to time the bottom and to really buy it at the ultimate bottom, first of all, this is the wrong thing to do. But if you are, then you're really wondering, are we going to 12K? Are we going to 10K? I want to buy Bitcoin at 10,000. There's many people who are right now waiting for Bitcoin to fall below the 10,000 region. And I feel that all of these people are going to be greatly disappointed because I don't see a case for Bitcoin going to the 10,000 region. So let's see some figures. Well, first of all, right now, we are sitting at around 77% correction. This is what we've printed as we fell in the 15,000 region. We went to 15,600 here on Bitstamp. I'm using Bitstamp for my charting just because it has the longest history and everything. So this is really 77% correction that we've done so far. If we are to print an 80, let's assume we print an 80% correction during this bear market, something that we've done in the past. Well, this will actually take us to the mid 13,000 region. And this is why I'm considering this to be a more realistic, more probable, and even more possible scenario. Now let's assume that we make an 82% correction during this bear market. That would actually take us into the 12,000 region. 82% correction is something that we've done in the past, like what we did here in 2013. So in 2013, we make this huge volatility. We have this problem with Mt. Gox. This was the biggest exchange at the time. A lot of FUD. People were scared. Bitcoin is making 82% correction in a matter of just a few days. This is the daily chart here. So we're talking, days here, just in a matter of a week. We actually dropped down 82%. But in fact, what we did, the 82% was a drop in just a matter of hours. And very quickly after that, it got bought up, all of this, and we went into the 70% correction. And then we stayed at around 70, and we even recovered. And then as we dropped again, the most we did was 75%. So for the majority of this bear market, we actually went to around 75% correction. We touched the 82% correction very briefly, and it was so quick that only a handful of people managed to actually catch these prices. We didn't really drop to 82% correction and stay there long enough for many people to be able to actually accumulate Bitcoin at these low prices. So most of the people, majority of people, were actually working with less than 75%, around 72 to 70% correction. These were the prices that they were buying at. They were not buying at minus 82%. In other words, what I'm saying here is that yes, we could actually print an 82% correction, and it will take us into the 12,000 region. But if this is just a wick of a candle on the daily, that would mean that we do it in a matter of an hour, 2 hours, or something like that. And it could be so quick that yet again, you could actually miss that. So for all these people that are waiting for 12,000 Bitcoin or for 10,000 Bitcoin, even if it goes there, guys, it could be so brief that your orders might not get filled. And if you haven't placed your orders already and they're not just sitting there waiting to get filled, if you're waiting to actually catch Bitcoin at these prices as it goes there, it could happen when you're sleeping. It could happen when you're not paying attention. It could happen for a split second, for a minute, for 10 minutes. and you will miss it just like that. It's happened to me in the past when I was trying to time the bottom, and I never really caught a bottom. I never really caught an ideal bottom. A lot of the times I would place orders and they would be sitting there, but when it happens, these moves can be so fast that actually not all of the orders get filled up. Let's say there are orders for 500 Bitcoin at that price, and the price only goes there for a split second. That means that only some of these orders are able to get filled up, and usually it's by the time they were placed. So it's those who place their orders first are the ones that will have the priority to actually get theirs filled. And if you're one of those people who placed your order last, or later, then yours might not get filled. I've had many times when the price would go to an order that I have placed and my order didn't get filled. Why it didn't get filled? Because there were too many orders placed for that price, and when it dropped to that price, there weren't actually that many sellers that pushed the price all the way down there. So not all of these orders that are sitting at that price will get filled up. So this is the risk that you're taking if you're trying to time the bottom. And this is not the only risk. You also have the risk of us not actually going there, never getting to that point, never really dropping that low to that price. And I'm going to continue now here to show you why I feel that. So this is the 82% correction that is taking us into the 12,000 region that I personally feel is the most likely scenario for, Bitcoin bottoming out. Now, let's assume that we make an 84% correction. This will actually take us into the 10,000 region, but not even. It takes us into the 11,000 because it's 10,900. So that's pretty much 11,000. But yet again, it could be 84% 0.40, so that will take us slightly lower. It will be 10,800 or something like that. In any case, again, this could be a week of a candle, so you are not guaranteed. Yes, we've done in the past 84%. In fact, in the last bear cycle, we did 84%. And in fact, it wasn't just a week. We did go there and we stayed here for a few days in that level. And you know what's funny as well is that as we got to that level, and this is the 3,000 region, I remember when we did that, and I was recording videos at the time. I was interviewing I think we had a very good interview with Horizon, with the guys from the privacy project Horizon, and we were talking about Bitcoin, getting to these levels, and I was talking about Bitcoin bottoming out. Many people at the time were considering that the bottom will be at 1,000. Many people were calling, I remember watching Fat TV, Elio, who is now Elio Trades, he rebranded it later. He was inviting people from Bloomberg and stuff, and he was talking about Bitcoin going to 1,000 or 2,000 as we were bottoming out, as we were reaching the lowest point that we could. People were still calling for Bitcoin to go by another 50% lower. We were at 3,500, and they were talking about Bitcoin going to 1,000 or 2,000. So that was another 30-40% drop from there. That never happened. And all of these people that were watching this analysis and that were believing the FUD and that were waiting for Bitcoin for 1,000 actually got burnt in the end, because as we started recovering, the recovery was quite quick, and very quickly we went from 3,200 or something to 4,000. And yes, we did again in January, we revisited the 3,000 region. So some of those people were able to buy Bitcoin around 3,500. But many people, as it started pumping, as it went into the 4,000, they got, a bit of a FOMO here, and they started buying it at $4,000. They missed the $3,000 because they were waiting for 2,000 and for 1,000. And even later, when we went back into the 3,000 region, everyone was still calling for Bitcoin to go to 1,000 and to 2,000. And there were still many people who were waiting for it and were not buying it here. They were later buying it up here at the 4,000 region when they realized, okay, well, Bitcoin is not going to 2K. I might as well buy it at 4K or 5K. I missed it at 3, but I will buy it at 4 or 5. The same thing will happen again now. There will be many people who would miss Bitcoin, in this region here at the 15,000 if we go there. But I think we will revisit that region, and I'll show you why. But when we revisit the 15,000, this is when people will be talking about Bitcoin going to 12 and to 10,000. And many people will miss Bitcoin at 15K or 14K if it goes down there, because they will keep waiting for lower and lower prices. And again, I'm not saying that it's impossible for Bitcoin to go to 10K, but I'm saying it's a very small likelihood that it will. I personally feel that the 12,000 and the 13,000 region is quite a decent support for us. And there is a lot of buyers' appetite at around 12 and 13,000 that will kick in. Buyers will actually start accumulating at that price. They will not allow it to go to 12K or 10K. And all of those that are waiting for Bitcoin 10,000 are going to be burnt. They're going to be buying it later at 17,000 when Bitcoin pumps again and they realize, oh, well, I guess we're not going to 10,000, so I might as well buy it at 17. This is what's going to happen, guys. So don't be greedy. Place some orders. Of course, you can wait for Bitcoin at 10 and 12K. You can have some capital allocated for if that is to happen, but also start buying Bitcoin when it is now at 16K, or if we drop to 15 or 14,000, definitely accumulate it at that price, because you're not guaranteed that it's going to 12 or 10,000, and you don't want to be the guy buying it at 17 or 18K later on because you missed out the actual bottom. And for the record, this is Bitcoin in 2014. It printed 86% correction. So yet again, is it possible that Bitcoin goes over 80% correction? Yes, it is possible. It's done it in the past. But as you know, past performance is not necessarily a guarantee for future performance. Most importantly, we are in a very different market today than we were back in 2014. For starters, in 2014, there were probably just a few thousand people trading Bitcoin. And right now, we're talking about millions of people investing or trading Bitcoin. So very different situation. Also, back in the day, it was all retail investors that were in Bitcoin. There was no institutional investors. There was no big money in Bitcoin at the time because it was still largely unknown, and it was also not respected by big money. They didn't believe in it. They thought it's a fad. They thought it's a scam. They thought it's a Ponzi, whatever. It took them a long time. I spoke to many professional traders when I was first starting in crypto, and I was trying to find out why are professional traders so anti-Bitcoin and anti-crypto. They did not believe in it. They thought that it's fake money, that is just a project that is not going to stay, that's not going to last. So it took them a long time. But now, in today's market, we are in a very different situation. We have a lot of institutional money in Bitcoin, and institutional investors are not the ones that are going to be exiting when Bitcoin is already at 70%, 77% correction. Big money, bankers and hedge funds and stuff, they're not exiting Bitcoin at 77% correction only to buy it at 80% correction. They're not selling Bitcoin at 16,000 to reaccumulate it if it goes to 12K, because it's an if, it's not a guarantee. That's not the kind of risk that they're taking. If anything, they're just waiting for Bitcoin to go into the 14 or 13K region to start accumulating even more with fresh new capital, not selling Bitcoin right now to reaccumulate it with the same money. So this is a big difference between retail and institutional investors. Retail investor right now is already selling, or they were selling over the last few days, hoping for the prices to go lower and to reaccumulate it lower, because retail investor doesn't have that much money. He has to work with, or they have to work with the capital that they have, and they don't really have more and more capital to just keep pumping into that market. So of course, retail investors are going to do this kind of short-term swings, and they would be selling at 16K, hoping to get it at 12K. For them, this is a big difference, and it makes a decent profit. Anyways, let's continue with the charts. And this is also back and at the beginning 2011, when Bitstamp actually started trading Bitcoin. We actually saw it first drop quite significantly, 81% it dropped, and then it recovered and it continued. I mean, I don't really count this because we're talking 2011, we're talking really, really early days. We're talking probably a few hundred people trading Bitcoin at the time, not even thousands. Even if there were thousands, a very few thousand in that case, but you can see it. This is the daily. We've actually had full days when there's no activity. We have many gaps here. This is not a chart of Bitcoin that we've seen ever. So I don't really count this, but even if we are to count this, this is also 81%. It is not 90, it is not 95, it's not 100. It never went to zero. So to all of those people commenting on Twitter saying that, Bitcoin can actually go to zero. No, guys, it cannot go to zero. There is no scenario where Bitcoin is going to zero. Anyways, this is now another chart that I want to show you that is actually pointing to the perfect accumulation zone that we are currently already in. But before that, a quick message from our sponsor, BitGet. As you know, BitGet Exchange is one of the partners of this channel. And before I run the pre-roll, I want to point out that I did speak to BitGet and I made sure that they're in good standing before I continue promoting them. They have actually released records about their protection fund, which currently has more than $200 million. And they opt for full transparency so that their users, customers like myself, because I am a user of the exchange, could actually have a peace of mind. So I'm just going to quickly read you their statement here. They say the BitGet protection fund was created with the goal to provide unparalleled security and to ensure a secure and safe trading experience for users around the world. The fund is currently valued at more than 200 million US dollars, consisting of 6,000 Bitcoin and 80 million USD Tether. BitGet has pledged to secure the value of the fund for the next 3 years. The fund will ultimately act as a safeguard for BitGet users and the BitGet trading platform, while also helping to usher in a new era of safety and protection in the crypto space as a whole. They have published numerous articles now on their blog as well. There's also even an article at the Cointelegraph that is talking about their fund. So there's quite a few sources that you can refer to if you're unsure about the safety and the security of your funds with this exchange. I'm personally quite confident in them, and this is why I selected them to be one of the partners of this channel. One of our partners is BitGet, a crypto exchange I use a lot right now to trade with zero fees. Yes, you heard that right. Spot trading with zero fees, welcome bonuses and rewards for well over $4,000 and no KYC for up to 20 Bitcoin daily withdrawal. It was launched in late 2018 and it's one of the world's leading cryptocurrency exchanges with a core focus on social trading. They already amassed over 2 million active users in more than 50 countries around the world, and they have licenses in the US and Canada. They also offer step-by-step tutorials for novice traders and the very popular copy trading service where you can follow experienced traders and copy their trades on autopilot if you're not very confident in your own trading skills. I dropped my invite link in the description below for you. Make sure that you use it to register and get the welcome bonus, as well as their affiliate program, through which you can earn more than $3,000 bonus. They pay you 30% commissions on every trade your friends make, so this can be an additional passive income stream. And that's not all. Aside from spot markets, BitGet also offers futures trading, a launchpad for newly listed IEOs, interest-bearing accounts to maximize profits on your crypto holdings, yield farming through their launch pool, and much more. They just announced a huge partnership with Messi on his last year of the World Cup. This is quite a big deal, not only for football or soccer fans around the world, but it also places them in the top crypto brands right now, making it a serious competitor amongst all of the crypto exchanges in the world. Yet another reason why I'm very proud to have them as a worthy partner of this channel and one of our top supporters, along with Ledger, Keystone, Token Metrics, and many other major crypto players who've been supporting our community throughout the years. Sign up today with the invite link in the description of this video. All right, now let's continue with the charts. So right now here we are looking at the chart of Bitcoin on the monthly. This is the monthly chart. So we're looking, this is on Coinbase, and it's literally the whole history of trading of Bitcoin versus US dollar, because it's the monthly. So each of these candles, each one of these candles is representing 1 month of trading activity, quite a large time frame. And I selected this big time frame because right now I'm looking at the macro. I want to see in the macro, where are we standing? And as you can see, this is the stochastic RSI down here, and up here is the rainbow adaptive RSI. They're both in the oversold region. I mean, we're talking here severe oversold region levels that we have only seen during the previous bear cycle, at the bottom of the previous bear cycle. We don't really have any, unfortunately on Coinbase, we don't really have that long of a history. It starts from 2017, I think, or 2016. Oh no, it's from 2015, but nevertheless, we can only refer to the 2018 bear market. And as you can see, this is where we were. We were at the same level in the stochastic RSI in that oversold region where we are right now. The rainbow adaptive RSI, we're actually even lower right now. And we were also back down here in 2015 as we were coming out of a bear market. We see that we are coming out of that same region. So definitely right now, this chart is showing us that we are at levels last observed during the bottoming of a bear market. So it's quite obvious that we are in the bottom of this bear market. Now, of course, this chart doesn't tell us that we are in the absolute bottom as we speak. I mean, we can drop by another $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. We can go to the 13K region or 12K region or even 10K region. And of course, we will continue being here in the oversold region. We are not going to go in the overbought or, coming into the middle of the region. We are going to stay here at the bottom in the oversold region. So this is not necessarily showing us that we have already bottomed out, but it's definitely pointing towards the fact that we are right now in the bottom of this market. Can we drop by another few thousand? Yes, we can. And we are still bottoming out. But what I'm saying is that if we do drop by a few thousand, it could be very momentous and it could be just for a matter of minutes or hours and you could miss it out. So you don't really want to be waiting for the absolute bottom. Yet again, don't try to time the bottom. Just start dollar cost averaging from now. This is what I personally would do. This is another chart. This is the logarithmic growth curve. And here, usually, as we touch the bottom of this curve, the lower moving average, as we touch this, we usually bottom out and we start a recovery. Every time we actually go to the bottom of this, we actually start a recovery. And here we actually broke below it. This was back in March 2020. This was the black swan event of the start of the pandemic when we did have this crash of Bitcoin from 8,000 or 7,000 all the way down to 4K in just a matter of hours. And then the next day it was all fine. We were back at 6K and then we were back at 7K and so on and so forth. Right now, we have fallen even below these levels for the first time. And you can see that this is actually starting from 2011 as well. So for the first time, we are actually falling below our curves here, below the lower moving average, indicating yet again that we are in unprecedented low levels for Bitcoin, ideal for accumulation. There's no question about it. And there is yet another one. This is the 2-year MA multiplier. I've been showing you these charts previously. I've been talking about these charts previously. I'm not going to explain exactly what it does, but just in simple terms, as we go here, as we fall below the green line, we are in ideal accumulation zone. And as we go above the red line, we are definitely seeing selling signals. So selling as we go above the red line has always been the best strategy, and buying when we go below the green line has been the best strategy. This is literally how you can interpret this chart. You don't need to know anything more than that. And as you can see right now, we are below the green line. We are in our ideal accumulation zone. When was the last time we were here? Well, we were back here in 2020. Yes, March 2020. We were also here in late 2018, early 2019. And this is when Bitcoin was at 3,000 and 4,000 during the bottom of the last bear cycle. And we were also down here. Let's see, when was that? 2015 and 2014. As we were coming out of the last bear cycle, we were also down in that level. So looking at this chart, it is more than obvious that we are now in bottom levels, that we are already in good enough price for you to start accumulating. Yes, you might be wanting lower prices, but they may not happen, guys. They may not happen. We might actually touch 15,000. I'm going to show you in a second why. This is the rainbow chart as well. We've talked about this chart many times. It is very similar to the previous two charts that I looked at. As we go here in the blue region at the bottom of this rainbow, usually this is the best time to accumulate. And as we start going into the hot area being the orange and the red, as we start getting into the hot area, this is time to exit. This is usually a good time to be selling. And we did that in 2017 when we actually went all the way up to the top of this region. We didn't do it in the last bull cycle. We didn't actually have a blow off top, so we didn't really go into the red zone, but we got into the orange, and the orange is already hot enough to be selling. So next time, maybe don't wait until we get to the red one, just start selling as we approach it. But it is as simple as that, guys. Blue zone is for buying and orange and red zones are for selling. It is really as simple as that. Now, let's look at the shorter term, because this is why I'm saying that Bitcoin could still go in the slightly lower. It could actually go to the 15K. It could even go to the 14K. But I think this is where we stop. So this is the 4-hour chart. And as you can see right now, we are forming this bearish triangle formation, bearish wedge pattern or pennant, if you want to call it. This typically breaks on the downside. This is how it goes. You know, this is first of all in a downtrend. We are forming this pennant. We are going, moving between support and resistance, and we are tightening the range, tightening it and tightening it until at some point we have to fall out of this range. I mean, we can break out on the upside or the downside. This particular pennant is indicating most likely breaking on the downside. So this is what I'm expecting here. I'm expecting that we will revisit the 15,000 region. I'm personally seeing that support in this region is to be found. The stochastic RSI is already going, it's already in the middle, so it's already kind of neutral territory. We see that bearish cross, so we still have some more room to go down, but as we drop to the 15K region, we're going to go in the oversold region in the RSI, indicating a reversal. The MACDs are quite high though. They can still go much lower before we actually reverse, and this is why I'm saying that even the 14K is a possibility. I personally feel that falling from here to 14,000 is going to be ultimately the drop that will take all of the indicators in the oversold region, indicating a reversal from there and not actually allowing Bitcoin to go to the 12K or the 10K region. That are possible, but not very probable anymore. So I personally still maintain that 14 and 13,000 are going to be a very good support for us. This is what I'm expecting to be the Bitcoin bottom if we even get there. But before that, I see a consolidation around the 15,000 region. A consolidation could actually provide a good support for us that we may not break this ever. So this is yet again, I'm reiterating that my conviction is that we are already in the bottom of this market. We are already at good enough prices for accumulation, and I'm already starting to accumulate. I've accumulated in the lower 16,000 region a big chunk of the holdings that I was keeping in stable coins. Now I have at least half of my money still in stable coins, waiting for Bitcoin to see if we actually fall in the 15K region. But I'm monitoring it all the time, and I already have a lot of orders that are open on several exchanges, hoping that if we actually drop to 15K, I will scoop it at around these prices, and I will be monitoring it to see what's happened once we get into that region, because if we are continuing to be bearish and if I continue seeing bearish signals on the charts, I will expect it to go lower and to scoop it lower. But if I don't see any indicators of Bitcoin dropping below 15K, I will be happy to accumulate it around that price and not wait for it to be dropping to 12 or 10,000, because it may never happen. And yet again, this is not a financial or investment advice. I'm merely stating my personal opinion and the analysis that I'm personally doing here. And I've been doing analysis on Bitcoin since 2016. So, this is really what I'm seeing on the charts. By the way, guys, I will be doing a giveaway very soon. This is Keystone. This is one of the best hardware wallet devices on the market, and they're also partners of this channel. I just spoke to Keystone developers, and they promised that we will be having a giveaway. So not only you will be able to get a special discount, so for all of the viewers of this channel, we will be having 35% discount for Black Friday. This will be announced very soon. Black Friday is not here yet, so make sure that you are watching every video that I'm posting. And right now I'm posting 3 times a week, guys. I'm not posting every day anymore, because I am also trading, and I am also doing some other things. I'm preparing a course and everything, so I do need some more time to be able to do everything that I'm doing. But I'm still posting 3 times a week, and I will be announcing not only the special 35% discount for all of the viewers of this channel, I will even be having a giveaway of one of these devices. Not this device, this is my personal device that I'm using. The giveaway will be conducted directly by the company. I will pass the name of the winner directly to Keystone, and they will be sending you the device. So it's going to be factory sealed and everything. This is air gapped device. There is no USB or Wi-Fi connectivity to actually be able to compromise it in any way. And you're only confirming transactions from here via QR codes. So you operate with your app on your mobile phone. You have a QR code that you need to scan with the device, and then you have a QR code on the device that you have to scan with the app, and this is how you actually communicate with the device and the app on your mobile phone. And for every transaction, I mean, first of all, to receive money into your wallet, you don't need the device, you only need your public key. But when you're sending coins from the device into an exchange or to someone else, whatever, this is when you actually have to approve it on the device, and you're using QR codes. This is what I like about this device. There is no other connectivity point that will actually compromise it. And there is also a self-destruct mechanism for if anyone finds it and tries to actually force entry into the device and mess up with the device in any way, it will self-destruct. This is really one of the most secure devices on the market. This is why I partnered with Keystone, and they were kind enough to offer a free device that will be a giveaway that I will be running as a contest. Make sure that you're leaving comments on each of my videos, because that will be one of the requirements. But I will be making the announcement in my next video properly, so make sure that you tune in for that. So this is everything for today. Make sure that you check out the links in the description below, where I drop the links to all of the crypto services that I'm personally using and that I recommend to you. And also, while you're here, why not just pick another one of my videos, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.